Welcome to Sacred Earth Journey Round Table, where we travel the world unfiltered, where strangers become tribe, and global peace begins at kitchen tables. So we were starting to talk about culture, business in Iraq, understanding cultural diversity and differences, especially when it comes to doing business in a place like Iraq or in the broader Middle East. So Midhat, just talk a little bit about, first of all, cultural stewardship is very important to both of us. And when it comes to business, when it comes to travel, when it comes to interacting in any way, I just want to hear more about why cultural stewardship is so important to you. How did this become such a point of interest in your work?
Well, that's a good question. So in the book, I tried to make it smooth for the readers, not dry topic. Because history, I hate history, but
I would not know this by your book.
I end up reading a lot of history. I don't like reading the culture or leadership. It's a very dry topic. It's in school. Ooh, it was not my topic, but guess what? I liked it in the end. So when I did the book, I had the ghostwriter with me. She was like, she did a good job, but it was very difficult to put the story in it to make it as a storytelling teaching, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
And by the way, this is an easy read. It's not. It definitely wasn't dry.
We'll try hard not to make. There is a lot of information in there. Don't get me wrong. I took a lot of things from textbooks, and I mashed it with some of the experience that we have. Because when you do business, international business, you're gonna run into all these things. Whatever they teach you in school, you're gonna run into it, or you're gonna need it for sure.
Yeah.
So the topic, why it came to me, because I worked before before 2003, I had a chance to work with certain companies, international companies in Iraq, and interact with them, and I noticed a lot of things I noticed the gap basically. So it doesn't matter if you're working with engineering, infrastructure, trade, merchants, whatever they are, because we did most of them in Iran. Now, after 2003, it came different mindset. It was way different than what I experienced when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I took the path of school. So I went to Malaysia, and when I went to school here.
An Iraqi in Malaysia.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Well, I ended up getting married. So
nice.
So what I was trying to say, I noticed the cultural gap. The international companies, the leaders, sometimes they think if you hire someone from that region would be perfect. It turned out no, it's not, because if he's not aware of what's going on, he perfected the language, but he doesn't perfect the culture understanding, culture intelligence, the awareness.
Right.
He will ruin his name and the company's reputation in that area. So it took them the reputation that takes years to build. It goes with one mistake. And I'm pretty sure there's examples people know about. Now, like the case of Iraq, why I took the case of Iraq, because there's a lot of failures in there with the international companies in a struggle. Not only
right
now, for that being said, the culture. I just read an article about how culture transfers between countries and continents and all that quickly because of the communication, because of the computer, because of the AI, because of the social media. So now everybody understands everyone, and now imagine this in 10 years. We're gonna have the quantum computer coming in, AI gonna be dominant, data is gonna be more. Now, the leaders need to be ready. These are tools.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to use tools, it backfires.
Right.
And it backfires rapidly. I'm pretty sure most leaders, they understand what I'm saying. So it's a dry topic. I felt it should be brought to the attention because I know there's AI. I know people use AI a lot.
This is not AI.
This is not
He's
AI.
real. I'm real.
We're not AI. So I believe we're gonna need because human interaction is gonna stay there.
Yeah.
You can't replace that with AI.
Do you think that, like, how the possibilities of people doing business in Iraq? Because people watching this might think nobody's going to do business in Iraq. I know that's part of me. I know that it's true. There is a lot of business to be done in Iraq. So some people watching this may wonder, like, what business would Westerners have in Iraq? But
Um, I would consider Iraq as a school for companies because there's Chinese companies there, there's Russian companies. They are very aware of the culture. You'll see a Chinese worker in the public transport, but if a Western company, oil companies, they come in with the armed vehicles. That's a gap. That's a big gap.
yeah,
I would not drive like that. I know it's security reasons, of course, security is there. But if you surround yourself with people that you trust and they trust you, and you help them, vice versa, what do you think? They're gonna just let you go? No, it's not gonna happen.
how do you say you're an American in Iraq without saying it?
Well, somebody has to come out with that, right? But again, Iraq is different now. It's changing. It's adapting more quickly to, as we said, to Western countries. Also, China. I think if a politician in Iraq, if he's smart, he can be the the go-to between to bring the Western countries and Eastern countries together.
Yeah.
If they know how to play it well, and I think Iraq did it before in the kingdom or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll leave it again to the leaders of the politics. But you see what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say? There is a common ground that we can use, and it's a learning area you can do too. The practical.
Yeah.
So you can study as much as you can in theory, but you're not going to understand, especially with business. If you're not practicing it, you're not going to know what's going on.
Right.
And that's why, again, with the book, we try to make it as appealing as it is.
Yeah.
And hopefully people will reach out to it because when we talk about culture, not everybody would understand it. A lot of people are like, "What do you mean? I don't get it."
Well, this is a good point. What is culture? It's really the ecosystem of any group. It could be tennis players. It could be baristas. It could be ethnic backgrounds. It could be religious backgrounds. It could be identity backgrounds. It can be so many different things.
Yeah.
I love in the book where you talk about how the American contractors and oil industry business owners show up, that they take the choppers into the work sites in the desert. They drop in for a few days. They do the things they need to do, and then they get back in the choppers and they fly back out. They're never really interacting with the locals, with the community. They're never really gaining an understanding of Iraqi culture. What message does this convey to the locals?
Well, he's here to take my money and leave. Simple as it is. I don't want to say more than that. But guess what? All these big companies, in their program, they have something called building society or assisting the society, building schools, hospitals, whatever, and developing the area. They're excavating.
So they're giving back to the community. You're saying they are not?
They should.
They should.
Because that's in their law. That's
Absolutely.
in their bylaws.
Yes.
If that makes sense. If you go on their website, you'll notice there is a part of it. They're explaining how they're going to rehab the area that they're going to work in, and how they're going to help the community to thrive. So when I was reading that, so why don't you then use it? Why don't you just imply it? Just apply it and let's see what happens. Well, I don't think so. I don't think they did it. Maybe I understand. Maybe there's fear, the conflict fear, which was not stable. Maybe now it's the time to get people in there and help the Iraqis to build themselves. And keep in mind, this is the this is the center of the world geographically. So anything you do there will spread between West and East. That's how we call it in Iraq, West and
Yeah.
East. But again, for anybody from Iraq or from any country, um, there's people that want to go travel, like to travel. People that doesn't, they don't like to interfere. They just like to sit home.
Yeah.
But a lot of people that want to go see, explore. A lot of explorers, and I believe life should be short, and people should explore it.
Absolutely.
Don't stay home. Just go out and experiment. And with experiment, I think, of course, there's barriers and gaps you're gonna find, and difficulties comes out.
Yeah.
Not like you're sitting home, of course, but within that, you can build yourself. You build your personality. Just like when you're a child and you build your attitudes to become somebody who you are.
Right.
So the same thing. We're humans. I believe, we learn until we die. I don't think
I
anybody
always
will
say
come.
that when we stop learning, that is the beginning of our dying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have a say in Iraq. If you take a guy and put him in retirement, that's when you kill him.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for somebody who has never been to Iraq before, what's one thing that you wish that the West would start getting right about Iraqi culture?
Just think of it. You know, you're going to an area that they're not. They're happy to host foreigners. You experienced it probably. Um, Nowadays, there's a lot of YouTubers going there, and they are getting surprised by the generosity. Wow, he doesn't let me pay. Yeah, because he wants you to be there. What does that tell you?
Yeah.
I don't need to say it. The people will tell you, not me. Of course, there's a bad eggs and good eggs, but guess what? Everywhere you go, even in US, there's good eggs. But yeah, that's life.
That's true.
Again, you need to know who's good and who's bad and what's bad. Of course, you need to, especially when you go now Iraq, you would have to obey the dress code, for example, the ethics. They do things there, not like the way in the US here. You can't just go on the beach right now. Like here, we can't do that here.
Yeah.
Really,
So say more about that for somebody going into a place like Iraq or to maybe some of the other states in the region, when it comes to cultural respect, when it comes to just respecting the ways of life. Some people here in the West, they see this as, oh, they're forcing us to submit, or, it, we shouldn't have to do this, or we shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to cover, whatever. Say more about the whole just honoring and respecting the culture that you're in, whether it's Iraq or anywhere, but specifically Iraq because this is your territory.
Yeah, it's territory. Sure. I want to just alter it a different way. Now, Iraq has kind of sort of freedom of speech. So people now in Iraq, they talk about government. They curse on the government. Of course, government.
Yeah.
This is something new for all of us. We never experienced that. So what does that mean? We're different than other states in the region. If you go there, you go by yourself. You depend on yourself, on your skills. The government will interfere, but for certain. Now, if you go to the Gulf states, the government controlling everything. They allow certain things, certain behaviors, and Iraqi can't because the people will reject. People will have the say. Religious wise, now it's a religion. Maybe later on, not anymore. We'll see. I don't know how it goes in the future, but I just want to say that Iraq is now democratic, sort of democratic way. Keep in mind that Iraq basically lived through dictatorship from the dawn of civilization.
Yeah.
You're telling them the democratic system now. Yeah, it's kind of hard, but they will get somewhere somehow.
Yeah.
I remember when after 2003, they translate democracy to freedom. So they start looting. It was worse. We didn't understand. We didn't understand it. It was like, what does it mean?
Right.
Because again, we just came out of bubble and
Yeah.
we're used to the government. The state does everything for the people. Until now, when you go to Iraq, they prefer to go to jobs secured by the government rather than jobs that private sector. Although private sector there's a development, of course, there's risk of
Sure.
unemployment and all that. But still, private sector, I believe, if played well, it will help assist the community to build itself.
It'll help balance out the
Balance out,
infusion
yes.
of Western democracy.
Exactly, and also helps the government itself because the government now relies on the people help, not
Right.
anymore they help the people. So if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Again, now Iraq is 45 million people, and that's a lot of people to feed. That's a lot of people to hire.
Yeah.
The government cannot hold that for sure. So I believe the private sector should kick in. Not only local private sector, because the local private sector are limited to what they know. That's where I was saying in the book, the international companies, if they come in, it doesn't matter who they are, what their nationality is, but if they come in, they're going to need support on the ground, boots on the ground. Go look for them. Whatever industry you are, in food industry, engineering, education, anything, there's equivalent to you there.
So what I hear you saying is for international companies coming into Iraq is go hire locals, bring some locals in who fit the industry, who are talented and skilled in the industry, and bring some of the locals into the business. Is this what you're saying?
Definitely. That's, I would say that way. But keep in mind, you need to train for sure. Train them and adapt the ethics to the local. They will tell you what you need to be doing
Yeah.
and what would fit.
Yeah.
For example, a bikini company would be successful in there. No, I don't. So, yeah, I think there is some mutual ground that can hold and build, help build the Iraq, help Iraq build themselves, help not only the region, the whole region needs to stabilize a bit. We've had enough of that.
And I think this leads into a really good next question. And then after this one, we're going to take a quick break. Why is it in the interest of outside businesses, multinational corporations, smaller businesses outside of Iraq? Why is it in their interest to do business or to start a business in Iraq?
So I had that's a nice one. So I wouldn't say which country, but it's in European. They have no more projects in Europe. They've been telling me they are having issues with because Europe is built.
Yeah.
The company they don't have anymore projects. They're looking for a new areas to explore. And I was like, yeah, we just came out of wars. Please be here.
Yeah.
We don't want this expertise and this experience to go away and die away.
Yeah.
And if that comes in, I think the Europe developed itself through the Arab era, if that makes sense.
Okay.
They built on Archimedes, on algebra and all that. It came from there, right? So basically, there was the bridge. This bridge is broken. We need to build that.
Yeah.
We're human. I know we're different, of course. Different religion, different colors, but still, this is the bridge.
Yeah.
And even when they did the DNA test these days, they noticed there is a route coming from Mesopotamia. What does that mean?
Yeah.
You just need to be rebuilt. And
somewhere along the way, we're all interconnected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody went to east, west, north, whatever.
That's right.
Again, I think we're humans. We need to help each other. Basically, that's what I want to say. If you isolate someone, because the world's becoming a small country, small town because of the connections, and you can fly not right now to Middle East. In 13 hours, you'll be in the Middle East.
Yeah,
Back then, it took them days.
that's true.
Before that, it used to take them months.
Right.
And now, not only that, now the news, if something happens in the Middle East, we can hear it once we wake up in the morning. Or wherever
Absolutely.
here happens, we can hear it there.
And let me just say, news in Iraq travels very quickly outside of technology. I promise you.
It's correct. Awesome. Yeah. So it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. But
So-
if that's a small, if we're gonna live in a small country, would you like your next neighborhood not doing well and your neighborhood living lavishly? It doesn't work.
Right.
It's going to affect you sooner or later. It's a matter of
Absolutely.
time.
And I think this is such a crucial point. This is exactly what I was hoping you were going to say. What there's the saying, what happens in Europe eventually happens here. And what happens in Iraq and in the Middle East eventually is going to happen here and eventually will affect us here. And so why should an industry or company do business in Iraq? And as you're saying, we want our neighbors to do well. We want to see stability. We want to see peace for our neighbors, all of our global neighbors. And as you were saying before, there are bad actors in every region, in every community. And the more we help our neighbors develop, and the more that we participate in development, in global development, the good guys can come out on top. Yeah.
One word, feedback. What are you just saying? One word, feedback. When you plant your seeds, once it comes out, there you go. It takes time, yeah. Nobody said it's easy.
Yeah.
Nobody's saying it's simple. It's thousands of years of force.
Yeah.
Of course, it's gonna be hard. But the feedback. Look what we got from this region. So we got chemistry, we got mathematics, we got, which is algorithm right now. Algorithm is from algorithm. Yeah.
There you go.
If we embrace that back again, I don't know. Maybe we don't see in our time. Maybe later on, but yeah, may people come back again. There is something in that culture that will embrace these things. That what comes out. I know it's hard. I know it's harsh. I know whatever. We're gonna complain about it, but in the end, I think it brought this.
Right.
And guess what? It brought the writing as it is.
That's
As
true.
simple as it is.
Yeah.
Management was started in there. And that's what it says in the records. Maybe China said it, I think. I don't know. Let's face it. So
Yeah.
you see what I'm going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to pick this back up in just a moment. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Thank you so much for joining us. Take what you heard, question it, sit with it, and bring it to your own table, because this is where cultural stewardship begins.